So welcome back to Driving with Miss Daisy. I'm Daisy Williams. I'm a freshman on the golf team at DePauw, and today we're going to be talking about golf myths. So our first golf myth is that swinging harder gets you more distance. A lot of people believe this. A lot of beginners believe this. Your swing speed does matter. That is a contributing factor to how far your ball goes. But swinging harder is not the same as swinging faster. So swing speed doesn't really matter as much as contact does, because your contact means that you're hitting the ball in the center of the club face. So this is my driver. If I'm swinging as hard as I can, the odds of me hitting the ball in the center of the club face are very slim. When you try to swing as hard as you can, you get stiff, you tighten up, and your swing just gets weird, and your consistency gets poor. So if you swing faster, that's not the same thing. Your speed is not the same thing. Swing harder, you get tense, and you're not going to make good contact. And you can injure yourself doing this. So don't swing as hard as you can. Try to keep a smooth tempo. Keep a smooth tempo off the tee, and you will hit way better shots. Don't swing as hard as you can. That's not good. Another huge golf myth is that you have to keep your head down or keep your head still. That's also not true. It's physically impossible to keep your head still during the golf swing. You do want to follow this rule to an extent. You don't want any vertical movement with your head, so you don't want to take it back. You don't want to take the club back and go like this or like this. You don't want any vertical movement with your head. However, you have to have some side-to-side movement with your head. It's impossible to have a proper golf swing without your head moving a little bit. So it has to rotate back slightly in your backswing, and it has to rotate forward slightly to complete the swing. It's impossible to not move your head during the golf swing. Your head is also not the center of your swing. Many people believe that too. You're not really swinging around your head. Your sternum is actually the center of your golf swing. That's really your pivot point. Your head, it has to move, and it's not the center of your swing. Huge myth. The third myth is that you shouldn't go out and play on the golf course unless you're good. Big lie. Don't believe anybody who tells you that. Hitting on the range, on the driving range, is great practice to an extent. You can't learn how to play golf and how to hit real golf shots on the driving range. It won't happen. You won't learn how to score. Hitting on the driving range does not make you better. Nothing counts on the driving range. There's no pressure. There's no variables. When you're on the course, you hit shots into the rough. You hit shots into the trees. You get weird lies. The ball's below your feet, above your feet. You can't replicate any of that on the driving range. If you're worried about playing on the course and you're new to the game, go out and play in the evening when there's nobody around. If you're worried about playing slow, there's plenty of YouTube videos that can help you learn how to not play slow. Just play in the evening if you're worried about people judging you. The fourth myth is that you have to stick to one brand of equipment. You don't have to do it just because the pros do it. They're getting paid to use one brand of equipment. Equipment is mostly about performance. Just because you have a certain brand of irons, you don't have to have the same kind of driver. It's about performance. It's about what you hit better. You may hit a certain brand of irons better than you hit a certain brand of driver. You can switch it up. I say that equipment is mostly about performance because I believe that it's also about the aesthetic of the club, the way it looks. I don't think that you're going to hit a club well if you don't like the way it looks. I like the way all my clubs look, and I think that's a contributing factor to me hitting them well. So you don't have to buy a club just because you hit it better than another one. If you like the way it looks, then that's the one you should get, because I think in the long run, you're going to hit that club better because you like the way it looks. That's super important too. Another huge myth is that you have to buy the same kind of equipment as tour players. Yes, the brands market clubs to you and balls to you like that, but that's not true either. Tour players have much better, faster, and consistent swings than beginners do and than amateurs do. They need stiffer shafts, so the flex in the shaft. They need stiffer shafts to account for their swing speeds, and they use blade irons as well, so they can feel their shots more. The face of their irons is much smaller, so they can feel when they really hit the ball. Amateurs and beginners don't need that. It's only going to make you play worse. Those stiffer shafts and blade irons are much harder to hit. And players with slower swing speeds should not be using the same ball as a tour player. Those balls are harder. So a beginner with a slow swing speed needs to be using something softer that's easier to compress, easier to spin, and easier to flight up into the air. The final myth I have is that golf is too expensive to start playing. That's not true either. You don't have to buy the most expensive equipment. It's not going to help you anyways, like we just talked about. The balls tour players use are upwards of $55 a dozen. And a beginner is probably just going to lose all those balls anyways, and they're hard to hit. So don't buy the most expensive equipment. Don't go buy the most expensive clubs. It's not going to help you anyways. And don't play at the most expensive golf course in the area. It really doesn't matter for a beginner. Just go to your local municipal golf course and play there. You're just trying to have fun anyways. You don't have to play somewhere fancy to have fun. You should also consider walking. So you show up to a course and you have to pay the greens fee, but then they also tack on a $15 cart fee. If you just walk, you save yourself $15 every time you play. And you should also probably avoid snacks and drinks at the golf course because that's marked up as well. They charge insane amounts of money for snacks and drinks in the pro shop. Just bring a bottle of water and go walk the course, and it'll be plenty cheap enough for everybody to afford it. There's plenty of ways for recreational players to afford the game of golf. It is not too expensive to take up. It's not too expensive to start playing. You're allowed to play golf even if you're not good. Everybody can play golf. Golf is for everybody. That's all I have for this episode. We will see you next week, hopefully, and we're going to be talking about beginner mistakes.